For a while now, we've been left in the dark about Naruto X Boruto ninja tribes. We've seen cinematic special moves or ultimate jutsus or whatever you want to call them, and we've even had a tiny look at the HUD. But now, thanks to Jump Festa, we have officially released gameplay, so we can finally talk about how this game actually plays. This comes from a live gameplay demo conducted by the Japanese developers who, get this, talked about the game in Japanese. So I won't be able to give you exactly what they said, and a lot of what I'm going to be talking about are going to be my best guesses at how the game plays based on the gameplay footage we have, because I don't speak Japanese or understand Japanese. So keeping in mind that we're mostly speculating here, let's talk about the gameplay of Naruto Ninja Tribes. Firstly, I'll say I was surprised by how good the game actually looks in an idle state. We've obviously seen screenshots and I thought that the character models looked a little bit strange, but actually seeing them move around in motion, there is something about it. I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure there's some specific name for the type of art that this is. Regardless of what the name is, it looks pretty damn nice. But what about the gameplay mechanics? Well, remember that line of characters we had previously noticed in screenshots? Well, this acts as a type of deck. That's actually kind of what I speculated. These are the 9 characters you will use throughout the entirety of the game. You can't change these characters out. Once they're locked in, they're locked in. Each turn, you choose one of your active characters to do an action. In some cases, you'll choose multiple characters based on combinations and things like that, but for the most part, you're picking a character. So let's walk through a game and we can kind of talk about what's happening. So this player acts with Boruto. Because Boruto and Sarada are the same color and class are 2 different things. We'll talk about that in a moment. But because these 2 colors match, they act together. It's not a special move, but it is the first footage we see of a normal attack. Sarada throws a kunai and Boruto does a Hyuga-inspired palm strike. On the next turn, we see that the hand has cycled out. Boruto and Sarada are now a part of that deck, and they've been replaced with the closest 2 units in the deck. In this case, that ends up being Sakura and Naruto, and now the player's hand is Sakura, Naruto, and Konohamaru. The player chooses a similar turn as the first one, this time opting to use Sakura and Naruto because they also match colors. As the deck cycles, the player's hand is now Sai, Yamato, and Konohamaru. You'll see that Sai starts glowing at the start of his turn. I'm not actually sure why this is 100%. My best guess is that the character matches the same class as the previously used card. This also allows Sai to use his jutsu, which appears to do a little extra damage. Don't confuse color with class here. Again, these are 2 different things. You'll see a little border around the character. That's always a specific color. That's how you match up the 2 characters to do special types of attacks. But then on top of that, they have a little class icon right next to it. This seems to be a separate thing, which ties into the jutsu system, which we can talk about more as we go. This is going to be a big part of the decision-making process for this game, because if you look closely at this player's deck at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that he has a yellow card. So if he uses this Yamato and the Konohamaru together, he could theoretically trigger Saratobi's ability next turn. But in this case, if he uses Sai's ability this turn instead, next turn he'll set up for a 3-card match with all of his yellow cards. Sadly, we never get to see this in action though, because our player fills his tribe bar, and he opts to use it. This is like an ultimate jutsu bar. Once you've actually activated it, you can select any combination outside of your active units, and your active units if you choose to. In this case, the player chooses to use Shippuden Team 7 to combine their forces to do their big tribe attack or their tribe jutsu. I'm not sure what the conditions are specifically, outside of filling up this gauge bar to use the big tribe jutsu thing. You might also actually have to have 3 matching units in your active slot. That's definitely possible, because in both cases where we see this happen, the player does have 3 matching units in his active zone. Something to point out here is that when the enemy is losing all of his units up here, he's not getting any new ones. He doesn't replenish them in any way, and there doesn't seem to be any way to bring them back. So depending on which one of the units you eliminate from your opponent's pool, you could theoretically be making it easier for them to create certain combinations. This will probably also impact the meta quite a bit, deciding which of your units or which of the enemy units you want to eliminate, making certain combos more difficult. Now, after that last turn, the player we're watching is in a pretty sick spot. Because of the order he played his units in, he now has multiple groups lined up in his deck. So if he combos with his units each turn, every turn he'll keep getting 3-card matches, at least until one of his units is eliminated. We never actually get to see this in action though, because our player captures the victory in the very next turn. So we do have another match we can go over. This should go a little bit quicker now that we understand the core gameplay mechanics. This turn our player uses Yamato as opposed to using the 2-card match. You might wonder why that is. Well, this actually sets up for Sarada's jutsu because they share the same class. Again, not color, class. You might also notice the chakra bar at the bottom of each of the characters. When I say that the class combination is important, what I mean is that I think if you use a certain class, another character matching that class will get increased chakra than they normally would, which in turn means they'll set up for their jutsu the following action. combination. This is also pretty awesome because it sets up for a potential 2-card combo with Naruto and Sakura the following turn, but instead of our player doing that, he's actually going for a long-term strategy, opting for weaker early turns to try and blow out his opponent later with a stronger attack. He uses Yamato instead of that 2-card combo we were talking about, and now he has access to 3 red units. And like I said before, I think this is one of the conditions to use your tribe meter. Our player uses his tribe meter, activates Boruto Team 7's ultimate jutsu or tribe attack, and again, our player has gotten to a position where they're going to be able to use 3-card combos every single turn, at least until one of his units is eliminated. We do get to see how devastating this combination can be for about 2 turns, and then of course the match ends. Even with this small amount of gameplay, I can see a bunch of strategies theoretically popping up and a potential path that the meta could take, and that's more exciting to me than anything they could have shown us. I love strategy games, and when there's depth to those strategy games, it means a lot to me because it allows me to spend more time on the game. And it looks like this game's going to be able to provide that experience for me. I'm very much looking forward to that. Now, these anime games, or these anime mobile games, I should say, have built up a reputation for having pretty dramatic cutscenes for unboxing cards. Dragon Ball Legends, for example, and there's many I could list, and Naruto Boruto Ninja Tribes does not disappoint. It starts off with Boruto and Naruto charging up a Rasengan, being surrounded by different characters. That pool of characters will be different based on the quality of opening, and that's not all that will change. The people helping the 2 characters raise the Rasengan will change based on the rarity of the thing you're pulling. So the 2 examples they gave us was Jiraiya, and the second example was Naruto's mom. Overall, I'm really happy with the presentation of this game. The card art is fantastic, the gameplay looks awesome, and the only real deal breaker for me at this point could theoretically be the monetization system, how they're actually going to charge you for certain things. That could be a big deal breaker, but theoretically right now, based on everything we've seen, this game looks awesome, and I'm very excited to actually get my hands on it. There's no word on when the public will have access to this game yet, but I'll be sure to keep you posted. Like I said, I'm enjoying everything they've showed us so far. I love strategy games, and this seems to be right up my alley. I hope you're excited about it as well. Let me know what you think of Naruto Ninja Tribes now that or Naruto X Boruto Ninja Tribes now that we've seen official gameplay. My name has been Bilbzy, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next video.